Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with another good news video for you guys out there in K1 Visa Green Card land. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney and I'm not giving you legal advice. I don't work for USCIS, but good news coming out of a judge's chambers in Rhode Island. Now, you all know that President Trump's block on adjudicating green cards for people from specific countries is a violation of the Immigration and Nationality Act, violates constitutional law, violates congressional authority. You understand that the director of USCIS and Senator Marco Rubio have zero authority to block the adjudication of a green card so long as the individual qualifies for the benefit and is in compliance with the Immigration and Nationality Act and follows the rules which were written by Congress. You guys know that, right? Well, a federal judge understands that also. A federal judge has ruled that President Trump's policies, which are targeting 39 countries, is unlawful, unconstitutional, illegal. A federal judge in Rhode Island today, Friday, June 5th, 2026, has struck down a sweeping Trump administration policy that basically froze the processing of immigration benefits for nationals from 39 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Nigeria, Venezuela, where my beautiful wife is from, and several other countries. Now, what the policy did, what did this policy do? Well, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, implemented the freeze in late 2025, citing significant gaps in national security vetting. So it basically stopped adjudicating green cards, okay? For who? Well, for people seeking asylum in the United States. Those were the primary group. Work permits, Form I-765. So if you have, basic work permits, you're coming in on a work permit. Green cards, adjustment of status, Form I-485. So if you came to this country, you filed for the 2-year green card. Let's suppose you're from Nigeria, for example, and then you go to your green card interview and they say, yeah, congratulations, you passed, but we can't mail you your green card. Well, a judge just overruled that. And if you applied for U.S. citizenship, Form N-400, okay? So this freeze put in place by Trump and his team left thousands of people in an indeterminate legal limbo, unable to work, maintain legal status, or plan for the future. It's unconstitutional. The Congress did not approve this, okay? Now, the ruling was made by Chief U.S. District Judge John McConnell, and he ruled that USCIS acted without statutory or regulatory authority, and that the policy was driven by anti-immigrant sentiments. Well, we all know President Trump basically is trying to stop legal immigration into this country, and they disguised the action as a national security concern. He found the agency's actions arbitrary and capricious, and that the harm was caused solely by the applicant's place of birth, not by any wrongdoing on their part. Like my beautiful wife, Corinna's from Venezuela, with a degree in tax accounting. She's no threat to this country. So the judge emphasized that the policy violated the principle that the federal government cannot shut down lawful immigration pathways or discriminate based on nationality, African countries primarily, right? And the measures that followed the November 2025 shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C., which was a horrible thing, right? But it wasn't the fault of my wife from Venezuela or your wife from Nigeria, okay? Allegedly by an Afghan national. This guy, did a horrible thing. And this prompted the broader immigration crackdown. And the policy was part of a series of presidential proclamations and USCIS internal memos that expanded the scope from 19 to 39 countries. But this is a policy of the U.S. Congress, not a president who doesn't like people from this particular country. So what's going to happen now is that this ruling it's going to reopen thousands of pending cases, allowing affected applicants to resume processing for asylum, work permits, green cards, and citizenship, which will include my wife because she wants to become a U.S. citizen. Advocacy groups hailed it as a victory for immigrant service organizations and labor unions that sued to block the freeze. What are the countries that are affected? Key affected countries? Well, the 39 country list includes such nations as, let's see here, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. I'm angry as it is at the immigration policies. It's going to include Afghanistan, Iran, if you're from Iran, Nigeria, Venezuela, which is going to be affecting my wife so she can continue her process here in America unmolested by these horrible people that think they can override Congress working out of offices in the White House. It also includes countries like Burkina Faso, Chad, Eritrea, Haiti, Libya, Niger, Mali, Sudan, Syria, Yemen. So it's going to, affect countries like Burkina Faso, Chad, Eritrea, Haiti, Libya, Mali, Niger, Sudan, Syria, Yemen, Burma, Somalia, South Sudan, Sierra Leone, and also countries like Angola, Benin, Burundi, Cote d'Ivoire, with the Ivory Coast, Cuba, Nigeria, Senegal, Tanzania, Togo, Turkmenistan, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The bottom line is this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The judge's decision invalidates the USCIS freeze, restoring the rights of nationals and American citizens married to these persons, if you're doing the green card for marriage, from these 39 countries, to have those immigration benefits processed. Okay, so it's a setback for the administration's national security-based immigration restrictions, but I disagree. It's a win for American citizens who are trying to reunite with their husbands and wives, get their green cards adjudicated, get work permits adjudicated, etc. The White House does not have the authority to override the Congress of the United States and make up their own frickin' rules for the U.S. Immigration and Nationality Act. They cannot arbitrarily decide, well, I don't like people from Venezuela, so I'm gonna put these people in permanent frickin' legal limbo. In November, we have elections, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and I highly recommend all American citizens who can vote in this great country, the United States of America, look very closely at the political candidates who are running for office, and if they supported this unconstitutional attack on American citizens' families and this attack on legal immigration, don't vote for these people, and make sure that you also understand that you have a right to sue the director of USCIS and sue the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, in a federal court if they continue to keep jacking around with the rights of Americans and their family members, and by virtue of the fact that they were born in a foreign country, and they're following due process and trying to follow the rules and the U.S. immigration laws that have been put in place in the Immigration and Nationality Act. My recommendation to the director of USCIS is you need to frickin' resign, dude, and go get a job at McDonald's flipping hamburgers. You are not qualified to be the director of USCIS. And former Senator Marco Rubio, he's just kowtowing to Trump, who's trying to block legal immigration into this country. But we have an election in November. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I don't get into politics. But when people start messing around with my family politically, then I am paying attention. Don't forget, I do a live stream, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 6 p.m. Central. If you want to join as a member, I don't know where there's a join button down here somewhere. You can join up as a member. If you do join as a member, you can get my phone number and email address. You can email me, text me, call me. If you want someone to talk to, if you want me to talk to you about what's going on in the world of immigration, give me a call. Send me a text first, though. If you join up as a member, text me first so I know that you are a member. And don't stress this process. And I'm here fighting for you. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't work for USCIS. I don't give you legal advice. But I have 13 years processing green cards and K1 visas and K2 visas, spousal visas. I've got 13 years of experience. and I've been through different presidents and different congressional rules. But the Immigration and Nationality Act has not changed. And if you came to this country legally and you followed due process and you did everything by the book, you passed the medical exam, you passed the interview at the embassy, you paid the visa fees, you passed the police checks, you have qualified for the benefit as per the Congress of the United States, not some dude in the White House that doesn't like you because you're from a particular country. See you at the next live stream.
I'll be back.